Welcome to Not Factory Approved. Today's episode, I'm going to show how to bleed brakes on a vehicle if you have no friends. In the old days, one way of doing it was with a pressure system that would clamp on top of the master cylinder, but that has become less and less available. I'm using vacuum, which works great on four-wheel drum brakes, not so great on newer vehicles. So if you're restoring a classic car and you're all by yourself, this method will help. If not, there can be some upgrades to the equipment you're using, which will help you as well. So stay tuned, and hopefully this will help you get out of a bind. Master cylinder in place, all fittings connected. This top one here, with my very poorly wound spring arrangement, is for the trailer brake controller. And so that's in place, 3/8 fitting, that's 5/8. And it's bottomed out, it's not loose at all. Same in the front, 7/16. Previously this line came just down here and made a big loop back. So I made it a little better anyway. I've spritzed up the booster a bit just because it was rusty. And I took the loose rust off the nuts. I mean, if it's loose, it doesn't belong here. Not the kind of shop I'm running. Gotta have good morals, you know. So, poor jokes aside, that's in place. I just got to fill it up with the right brake fluid, and then I'll apply the vacuum bottle to the furthest point away from the master cylinder, which is the right rear, then left rear, then right front, left front, and then I'll do the brake controller. So that's got to be bled as well. So here goes. Pseudo sandblasted brake drum, which moves a little tight, but we'll work on that. It does work. So now the brake bleeder is just basically a fairly large flexible bottle. Squeeze the air out of it, put it on the valve, the bleed screw at the back, and timing is everything. So initially though, I'm going to open it up a bit. There, that's lots. Squeeze the air out and attach this. There we go. Now it has to be upward, all right, like that to work better. And the lines are completely empty. I'll let this suck through. Oh, gotta open the screw some more. And it does not seem to be moving nothing. Let's check that out. Hopefully you can see that. It is bubbling here. It's slowly sucking the air out. You can see the bottle is still collapsed. Sometimes you just have to leave it for a while to sit too, because it takes time for the fluid to get here, especially in the case where the lines are completely empty as these are, as I blew them all out. So it's still bubbling. Go a bit longer. I can't tell if that's showing it up or not, but should be able to see that it's bubbling as it pulls the fluid through. Well, air first. And then I'll do that again and again until there's no more air coming out. That'll be the back one's bled. When I do the other side, of course. But this is a split system, as most cars are. Late 60s in some cases, and 70s for sure. Front disc, rear drum especially. It's a split system. Some dirty fluid there bouncing around. So I certainly want to get rid of that. So process continues. So this self-bleeding system of mine worked great on the 47 Cadillac, where it's one single master cylinder and 4 drum brakes. On the discs I'm having more trouble, so I've had to upgrade. So what I've done is I've taken the bottle, I added another line which runs to a siphon gun, a wash gun actually. So that puts suction on the bottle, like that. And then I go push on the pedal while it's still under suction. And that helps me to bleed the brakes. I know it doesn't help you if you're off in the bush, but if you're in a shop, it's another way of doing it. Or I wait for my wife to get home. The mechanical assistant with a band on her finger. Here goes again. It's just starting to pull air out, so I'll pump the pedal again. Keep an eye out. Yeah, not coming through very fast, is it? I hate to admit it, but I did use the banded wife to help me bleed the brakes. I found my method worked with the wand. It was just slow. It was definitely sucking the air out. It bled most of it, but it was quicker, more effective just to get her to push on the pedal. So that method with the suction works great on old systems which are 4 drum brakes, but systems that have an equalizer and a dual master cylinder and discs doesn't work as well. So if you're stuck, it'll get you through and you can bleed the brakes, but if you've got an assistant, that definitely is the faster way to go. Up to you, but can get you out of a pinch, so hopefully that helps in that regard. One way that the setup can be improved is to put higher vacuum on it, and you need something like this, which is steel or tin can that's sealed up. You'd need 2 lines on it, one for the suction source and one to make this act as a reservoir or something like that anyway. So you get the suction up high enough that it actually pulls the fluid through. That should take care of that problem, especially on systems where there's an equalizer. This one has the equalizer down behind the engine on the driver's side, and they just seem to be more restrictive, whereas if it's just a 4-wheel drum setup, it's a 1 master cylinder, 1 chamber, 1 piston. It seems to pull the fluid through easier, which would make sense. And the discs are bigger, have bigger reservoirs on them also, so you have more fluid to pull through. So all in all, I'd say if you can get the suction up, then it should help. Otherwise, wait for a friend. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or even notify, or any of the above, or all of the above. Thank you.